There is a trial set before us, and that trial is right here in the Captain's Quadrant. I'm Captain Joe Dove. As you already know, please like, share, and subscribe. It's very important that you do those things because it helps us and the algorithm, especially if you're new here and hanging out with us for the first time. I am joined by the illustrious people of the Captain's Quadrant, and this time, two of the three sci-fi queens. Of course, I'm talking about my number one, Commander Jace, Navia, that girl Navia, and Captain Nita of the USS Toasty. So glad to see everybody today. We have such an episode to get into. Let's hit up that synopsis and keep going forward. Ad Astra per Aspera. I'm going to do that in the most New York way possible. Commander Una Chin Riley faces court-martial, imprisonment, and dishonorable discharge from Starfleet. Man, I really like how clear you made that because you obviously know that I don't have it right in front of me. I have to look in the distance, and I have glasses now. So,
yep, I know.
I appreciate you, man. I'm going to send you a special gift in the mail, and we'll talk about that another time. So,
yeah.
Are you sending him a Captain's Quadrant sticker?
Yeah, special gift.
To the guy who made the logo, who designed it.
You did.
I'm going to stick all the way from New York to the bottom of Australia.
Yeah, America. All right. Let's hop into first contact. Thanks. It's
so classic.
Yeah, so classy. Fitting we have a Vulcan on.
He appreciated it. He gave the little nod. Like, I'm impressed.
Yeah, you made it this far. So let's go around the room and figure out what people's first contacts were. We're going to start with Commander Jace. Let's start with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, look, first off, let's get the negative out of the way. This is not an episode where you didn't know what was going to happen at the end.
Yeah.
Right? It's pretty clear. We all knew that it was going to work out. But in saying that, I love an occasional courtroom TV show, storyline, whatever. And this was a really great one. I loved it. And especially what I loved the most was it really highlighted the strength of the relationships between the crew. Yeah. That's what I got a lot out of it. There was some, I love the lawyer, who they got for the lawyer. She was wonderful.
Amazing. Go ahead.
Yeah, she was really, really good. I love the way the case worked itself out right at the end. I really enjoyed that as well. So there was definitely a lot to appreciate from this episode. I wonder, though, how many people get a bit disappointed because it's such a smaller episode. But I dug it.
Absolutely. Nita.
Hi everyone, how are you doing? I love this episode. Like Commander Jay says, yeah, we all knew the outcome of the episode, right? If the outcome would have been different, that kind of would have been disappointing right there. However, with that being said, it was really well written, well acted. I thought it was amazing how they really gave the backstory of of her people and really kind of put it out there, the sufferings that they have gone through because of something that has become part of their culture. And I love the actress who played the lawyer. I love the points that she brought up. It was really fantastic.
All right. Navia, please. Your first comment.
I also really love this episode. I love the way it was written. I like how her backstory unfolded as the episode went on in the courtroom. I thought it was absolutely beautiful, wonderful. I love Nira, the lawyer. I think that's her name, right? Nira. She was so wonderful. Her outfit's killer. And I also love, I know, right? The outfits and the makeup just
yes.
And I absolutely love how they had the rest of the cast in their ready room or whatever that room was, and we got like shots of each of their reactions. This cast does such a good job of playing off of each other, and that was just really great. Cinematography, what do you call that? Whatever that is, wonderful.
Cinematography,
job.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yes.
That's why we love having you on. You're getting those little things that I forget about. For me, I thought it was a very deep drama episode. This was akin to CSI New Yorkie, baby. So we'll call it CSI in space because we got to go through all the logs. All right, Uhura, give me the log. I need it. And she's like, you ain't getting this log. So I absolutely enjoyed that. And I also love the dynamic between Una and the lawyer. There was some little history there. and people fear strong and powerful women, which you shouldn't, because I am the product of a strong and powerful woman, and she's watching us. So
That's right, Cosmic Mom.
I'm not saying that because she's here. The other thing, it was you were talking about the cinematography. I saw it as, wow, this is a real easy fucking payday for these guys. All right, sit there and look perplexed. And they didn't do nothing. It was just.
I mean, they had some crying scenes. Like they had some deep emotions going on.
Mainly just sitting and looking.
I love the points that the lawyer Mira was making. How it's okay to break the Prime Directive as long as the Federation benefits from it.
Right.
And we've seen that throughout Star Trek from TOS on. Kelvin timeline, as well. We have seen the Federation accept the breaking of that Prime Directive. And it's sad because these people can't be who themselves, cannot practice their own customs and traditions. And that's really a fear-based law, I think, that they had going on. I think that's something that Federation just feared another eugenics war, and rightfully so. That war is never good. But I think that I think it's time to up their game.
Yep. All right, Commander. Let's head into.
Wait. What about Jace? What about Jason?
Jace's not here.
He's secretly in another room. I've got him right here. All right.
Oh, no.
So, Jace, what did you think of the episode?
I like it.
Jace,
Jace,
can you answer us, Jace?
He's on his phone again. God damn it, Jace.
How rude! Disappointed, Jace. Really disappointed.
And if you're wondering where Jason is, he's taking a.
No, he's right in the other room. Look. He's just having a snack.
He's having a snacky snack. You know how annoying it was? Like, 'cause I have this thing. They actually consider it a mental disorder, where I can't hear people eat. It drives me crazy. It really does. And he was snacking last week, and I was like,
"Oh man, I can't wait to catch up in New York, man."
Oh, don't fucking do that. Oh, don't do that. I don't know where we are. Get up! Throw you right out. Yeah.
Oh, Jace, we got a plan of good.
Oh my God, I feel so bad for my wife because like I can hear it, and like sometimes when it's quiet, my hearing is like upped. I don't have great hearing, but like when it's quiet, it's really good. And she's like biting into stuff, and I'm like, babe, you gotta eat now. I'm watching my shows.
That's a form of abuse, Joe.
It is not. I didn't beat her. Jesus
You need
Christ.
help. You need
Yeah.
help.
It's time, Commander Engage, right? Commander Engage. I got nothing.
Thanks.
No, of course, the almighty Teddy will return next week. I'm having a meeting with the Great One. And he has some very... he's forewarned me some pretty important stuff is down the pipeline. So I'll report on that next week.
Sounds good. I just want to say a special shout out to Sarah, who agrees with me about the chewing. It's not just me. Thank you.
I'm right there
I
with
appreciate you, Sarah. You're like one of my favorites.
The problem is Joe just exposed a weakness.
My mom.
Let's move on.
All right.
Oh, did we have any more comments? Sorry, Nita.
Oh, you guys want to go to comments? Absolutely. Yeah. Let's say hello to the best, the favorite, the number one, Cosmic Mom.
Yeah, and look, Teddy's on your
Cosmic
shoulder.
Mom.
Yeah. Yes. But is he giving her the butt in that picture?
Yeah, it looks like he's about to poop on her, Joe. That's not cool.
Even Devin takes the time out to say hi to Cosmic Mom. Hey, Devin, how you doing?
Hey, Devin.
Oh, buddy, how are you?
We do have, as you saw before, Sarah. I miss you. Oh,
Chew quietly around Sarah.
That's right.
That's right. Sarah's in the Joe Dell
Now,
world.
Devin does have a comment.
Yep.
It says here, I really enjoyed this
Oh, good.
episode, and it was very thought provoking. Like all great sci-fi. Yes, I agree. It was
100%.
quite thought-provoking indeed. Cosmic Mom says, I love the fact that sci-fi queens noticed the wardrobe.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's
No.
very blue. I
they
noticed the color. I was like, oh, that's a blue
She
color.
was fabulous. Her
Yeah, she was.
outfit.
And they had the gold.
Yeah.
I work in fashion for a living, so I noticed those things, and I didn't expect anybody to bring it up, so I wasn't prepared.
I just feel like her outfit represented her personality.
In her power.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that power, you
Mhm.
know?
Mm.
Sarah says, but episodes like this means we get bigger, more visually fantastic episodes later.
She's hit on the money there. You know why? Because they only got a budget of a certain amount.
Yeah.
So even though it's only 10 episodes long, you know, they're going to have scenes that require a lot of effects later on. And if they can write an episode like this that is a bit more in-house, it's a smart way to go. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Because you know they're going to be fighting the Gorn, so.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, because we're headed towards Gorn War.
Yeah.
Gorn War.
And
I'm
not
telling
for
you, I'm ahead of
nothing-
the game here. This
Yeah,
is
he's
all
good.
about Gorn War.
Yeah.
But not for nothing. I mean, wouldn't you want a genetically enhanced species
Yeah, hell
to
yeah.
fight on your side against
Yeah.
them?
I'd also
Come
want
on.
Well, I think you're bringing up a really interesting point about the episode. It's the Federation and fear,
Yeah.
you know, and not being progressive.
Yeah,
You know, they become stagnant.
yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
absolutely. I like this comment from Devin. Okay,
Waiting.
that's-
That's not Devin.
Waiting.
No, that's not Devin. It says, "All hail Teddy, supreme overlord of
Overlord.
humanity."
Let's take a
There he
moment to
is.
appreciate the greatness of
That
the
is.
supreme ruler.
Yes.
Ah,
Wow.
I know my
Big
life's been
Mom.
better.
I think
Gorn
that
War.
Big Mom wants Gorn Wars.
Yeah.
He's
Devin,
ready.
I just want to take a minute to notice that he has Friend of Garrick on his thumbnail, which is great
Yeah.
because they just released news today that Andrew Robinson is going to be releasing an audiobook of his Stitch in Time book, which gets into Garrick post the Cardassian War.
That will be awesome.
That's going to be amazing.
Can
Andrew
you imagine
Robinson,
having Garrick in your ears all day, the audio
yeah, it's
book?
going to be awesome.
Oh,
I can't wait for that.
I'll be putting on a sexy outfit for that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
You're gonna listen to it with a second.
Oh, yeah, with a nice silk robe or something.
Yeah.
We want
Maybe a-
pictures.
Yeah.
We want pictures.
Yeah, well, OnlyFans, you could subscribe.
Only commanders.
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
Make it so, Commander. Let's move on.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
Sometimes it may be good. I was afraid that this would maybe be shit because I knew it was going to be a lot of talking. But, sometimes you get a really greatness out of dialogue. And when dialogue draws you in, you know you got something good going on. So we're going to start with Navia. We want to hear from you first. And your pros and cons. What was a good and what was a shit?
The pro was obviously Nira. She was absolutely amazing. That actress was so good. And if you guys notice, the one thing about her outfits, when you first see her, she's like in very tight outfits, very restricted. But towards the end of the episode, she's in like looser outfits and she's more relaxed. I thought that was, that was very cool. I love how they did that to her character. And towards the end of the episode, she does warm up to Una, and they become friends again. And I absolutely love that. And I also loved at the beginning of the episode how when her and Pike are talking, she had that quote where she said, "Congratulations, you discovered empathy."
Yes.
Oh, that was so good. That was just so good.
That was a great moment. Yeah.
That's when I decided, like, I love her so much and I'm here for her. My con was Una. She could have just told everyone at the beginning of the episode she turned herself in. I know they probably did that for the plot, but it would have saved Porlan so much agony. And I think other people as well, because they're like, who turned her in? But it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. There's nothing like agony, and that's why you should go back and watch our agony booth episodes. I'm plugging, damn right. You never.
He's right though. When Joe's right, he's right.
But I'm on it. So yeah, we have another show called the Agony Booth, where we dive into the less remembered episodes of Star Trek, some not beloved, like Inner Light. And we go back and we watch them lovingly and we discuss them together. and with a very lot of high yield production from Commander Jace, who's now going to give us his pros and cons. God damn, I'm smooth with them.
You are. They're well played there. Yeah, I feel like we should have been playing some. You should have gone into a bit of a song or something.
Like Sade.
Throw to an ad break. Look, yeah, I think the real strengths of this, as I said early on, are it really exposed how tight a relationship they have with the crew. And I really love that montage where they're all on the witness stand declaring what Una is. And I love the fact that they start each person talk about how she's like a commander, like addressing her professionalism, and then kind of like tailing up. And, she's a friend. She's important. That was really like Navia. I was a little bit plexus, like, hey, you could have said something, But, but she didn't. So at the end of the day, it works for the plot because that's what, in your own head, as for the episode, I'm like, yeah, who's the rat? Like, who's the one, throwing under the bus? The other con I had, no engineer, Commander Palea. Really I really wanted to see her in this episode. She wasn't in the episode. I was a little bit disappointed there. But overall, I mean, if you notice the title, we called it The Measure of a Woman, because I'm watching this episode and most of the time I'm thinking of that TNG episode, Measure of a Man with Data. You know? Yeah. And I will be really honest with you, in some aspects of this, they handled the court side of it, the defense and the prosecution side, better than Measure of a Man. And I don't know if it has the same resonance over time, but either way, I thought it was really good that we had such a strong lawyer who was tough, who had her own agenda. And that was the thing I loved about it. She wasn't doing it for some corny reasons, got to help my friend. She was doing it for the greater good of the race.
Yes.
And that's another major strength of this is how they handle the politics of this episode. And it really is, as we know, Star Trek's a reflection on what goes on today in the world. And I think you can see a lot of, in certain parts of Europe that's going on at the moment, you can sympathise with, with some of the things going on. But overall, I enjoyed it as much as the first episode, which I know is controversial because a lot of people hate the first episode. But I loved it, and I loved this one too.
There you go. Perfect. I want to say that this is a fantastic episode. I thought it was lots of pros. My cons would be the constant staring into space for all the characters. I thought that was a little awkward after a while.
Don't like a moment of reflection, Joe?
It's like, okay, I do, but not so long. I felt like 20 minutes of this was people just going, chicken tonight. Chicken would be delicious. You know what I mean? I just felt like there was a lot of space there. I really like the end wrap when she's basically got the ultimate gotcha. Here's your own book, and I'm going to use this against you to wrap my case. Yeah, and I just wanted her to put her glasses on and go, like in CSI Miami, because she won the day. I thought it was fantastic. My other pro was we got one shot of the Enterprise, and it was very beautiful. It was from the side and the back side. And sometimes you just got to appreciate it from the back.
Enterprise got a good booty.
Yeah, the Enterprise got a great booty. And it really was on display this week. I thought that was great. And I did like the inner back and forth between Spock and the other Vulcan, the great Vice Admiral. There is some animosity there, and I really want that to be fleshed out later on. I hope it comes.
Joe, talk about this moment, though, which I think is one of the unbelievable highlights of the episode. I don't think I've got the actual flip side of it.
Yeah. Oh man, talk about boring. And she's like, how do you like your logic today? Da, da, da. And then he goes, you can't tell by their body language how in depth they're going at it. You can't. And then Spock gets up and goes, I'm sorry you had to see that. And I was like, oh shoot, and Becca called it. So I thought that was fantastic. My only con this week, aside from, the fact that they probably couldn't pay the engineer, because she's probably the biggest name. They're like, we can't pay her to just stand there. That costs way too much. We got budgets, baby. So you can sit on back and hang out, Carol Kane. We appreciate you. We'll have you on set next week. So I agree with Jace. That was a con because I just absolutely love when she's on screen and everything she does, from Scrooge to Taxi. She's just fantastic.
Yeah.
And there's no stopping it now. So Nita, your pros and cons.
I agree with you guys. All of your pros and your cons. Definitely for me, one of the pros that I really liked was that Una was able to tell her story. She was able to get on the stand, because I was like, is she going to put her on the stand? Is she going to put her on the stand? But she was able to get on the stand and tell how she grew up, because I think that had an impact on how they understand what their laws were doing to actual people. Because sometimes lawmakers make laws for the greater good, but sometimes they tend to forget that there are people that are affected by these laws, right? And I think her telling her story really revealed the impact this law had on her culture, on her people, on how, things were for them and why they had to hide and things like that. A con, I don't know if it's a con or not, but I definitely did not care for that Vulcan admiral. Okay, that vice admiral. Yeah.
Awesome.
First of all,
Yeah, he was good.
He was fantastic.
Yeah,
The
good
actor.
protagonist, yeah.
Okay, yeah, great. He's a great villain to love, But I think that he had an agenda he didn't share with the prosecuting attorney, which I felt he did it because he knew the relationship, or suspected the relationship between her and Captain Pike, and he did not trust her to do her job. And I felt like he manipulated that situation, because at the end, instead of her doing that closing argument, he did it, which is very unusual. And I think he did it because he wanted to humiliate Captain Pike and say, this is not about her. This is not about Una. It never was. This is about you. And I think that is probably something that I have a feeling that Spock and him don't get along because of Spock's human mother. There were a lot of Vulcans who did not accept that relationship, or that he was truly a Vulcan. Why would it be so far-fetched to think that he has issues with humans?
So are you thinking that perhaps Pike was a Mr. Steal girl and he slept with his wife? You think that's
No, I think Pike was the real reason.
You human bastard. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Pike was the real reason behind this whole trial. That's why the vice admiral was involved. If you remember in the beginning of the episode, they were all very surprised, even the prosecutor, that he wanted to be involved in the case. So it apparently is not the custom or the way that they do it in this department, right? In this JAG department. And it's very interesting that he decided, I'm going to be involved. Why? Because this was never about Una and her lie, because she came to them and told them, okay, they wouldn't have never known otherwise. So they could have had this conversation with her without a trial. This was about exposing Pike.
Yeah, because he stole that dude's wife. All
No,
right,
he didn't
we're gonna
steal the
move
wife.
on to our next section. Make it so. Engage.
We're moving on, are we?
Yep.
Already? Okay, let's. I'm actually caught out. My computer froze for a sec.
No.
No.
I know it's always the way. Technical problems.
Yeah.
But let's move on.
Fight it well.
I love the laugh at the end.
I know.
No, it's
It's
evil,
so
isn't it?
menacing.
I was so happy. Do you know where that laugh comes from? I'd ask anyone in the comments to tell me they know which episode that particular laugh comes from. Bonus point, Joe will send you a prize.
What?
What? You're the
Spend my
CFO.
money?
Just,
Like what?
hey, I'm the CEO. You're the CFO. So
It means I
make it so,
regulate.
Captain.
I do less spending. All right, we're canceling the game today because we have the budget.
No, we're not. We're having the game, guys. I really, you know, when you were talking about that prosecutor, that Vulcan prosecutor, I was like, throughout the whole episode, Nita, I was like, oh, when is that guy going to talk? Because he's like, you knew he's in that background, and you knew the moment he was going to talk, something significant was going to come out. And I got to say, in that moment too, when he delivered his speech, I'm like, whoa, checkmate here.
Yeah.
He's right. Pike
he's
did
absolutely
purposely.
right.
Yeah.
He's absolutely right. You know, but my only issue with him is that he didn't trust his, subordinates with what he was doing. And I think he didn't trust them because he probably doesn't trust human emotions or us or our ability to separate.
I don't know. I feel like he had every right not to trust Beetle, whatever her name is. Because, if Nita, if I knew you had a partner and you decide not to bring him into like a court case, I'd be like, Nita, what are you doing, girl?
Yeah. And at the end of the day, she has to. Her responsibilities to her job. And
she should have put Pike on the stand. Yeah.
But it's one of those beautiful episodes where everybody's right and everybody's wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's almost a trial of looking at their own structure as a federation and going, we're getting it wrong here. And I think that's what the case was about, really. It was about a cultural change within Starfleet itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Sarah says it best. It had a witch hunt vibe.
Yeah, it totally is. I mean, and totally, again, Star Trek is a mirror on current society. So, and that happens today.
But you know who really got screwed over? April. Poor guy.
Poor Robert April, hey. And in the Ep Navy, everyone's going, because everybody loves them, Robert April, don't they? He's their mentor.
Yeah.
And they go in pretty hard, eh?
Oh, yeah. He regretted everything after that.
Yeah, he's like, I'm never, anyone comes to me with any problem, I don't care.
I'm good.
Straight by the book.
Jace, I think Devin has an answer to your question.
Damn.
Sure, please do, Devin.
Timescape.
Yeah.
Wow, Devin.
Very nice.
You're getting
excellent,
buddy.
And you know the scene because they're in the engineering. They're in the engineering room, remember? And they have a leak from the warp core, and he goes up to the cloud and he touches it and he starts giggling because he's kind of getting
high,
drunk off of it, or high. Yeah. Yep.
All right.
You know all about that, Joe. Yeah. Anyway.
What? No.
Well, the other thing with this episode.
Are you gonna try to defend me being high because I don't get high? I thought that's where you.
Hey man, it's legal over there, isn't it?
No.
No.
Well,
okay.
certain
states. It is in New York City, but he's not in New York City.
There's levels. There's certain things that still.
No. Hey, the only thing we get high off, guys, is Trek. That's what we get high off.
That's right.
That's 100%.
We're Trek junkies.
Yeah.
2 episodes in, guys. How are we feeling early on about the season? What do you reckon, Navia?
I think it's been great. I've loved both episodes. I was shocked to hear that people hated the first. Is that the overall sentiment for that episode?
Yeah, well, I got a lot of strong vibes, and people were disappointed online and that as well.
On Twitter, especially, I noticed a lot of disappointment. They expected pew pew pew, and I got to give a nod to Strange New Pod, the spotted giraffe who was so kind to our Lord and Savior Teddy at the Star Trek Long Island convention. But she was like, I can tell you why, but because of the way Twitter is, we know why. And what she means by that is they showcase a powerful woman of color in the focus of this, and certain people on the internet don't appreciate it.
I thought Navi was talking about the first episode.
Yeah.
Last episode? I think it was the Klingons. That's what I noticed. Very divisive.
Do you think it was too much humor? I think people rejected because it's very strong on humor in the first half an hour of that episode.
People rejected. Actually, the Klingons got a lot of bad feedback.
Yeah.
Really? I thought they solved some issues.
I thought that they were fantastic, personally.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of commentary that I saw online saying that they went back to TNG Klingons instead of Deep Space Nine Klingons, and they weren't happy with like the makeup look, and they made them look. Someone actually said that they were ashy, but they weren't. It's kind of in a desert planet, so I mean.
And the Klingons are like any other planet, aren't they? We've got different races and different communities.
Exactly.
And,
and it like filled
and
up
Klingons have always evolved in their look from get-go, right? I mean. So look, I don't know. Yeah, if you're to me, I think they're still they're in a good place if that's what you're complaining about.
Yeah, exactly.
If they'll complain about the plot, and the main characters, then you'd have I think a deal to
Yeah.
concern with. But yeah,
I think the first 2 episodes has really set it up for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Because here you have where they got to address the fact that, because Pike has to address the fact that they sold the Enterprise, okay, and that there's a Gorn War possibility going on.
what did you say, Nita? Gold War.
And they have to also address this whole Pike situation, hiding Una's identity, and how is that going to come up? And I think that there's a lot of stuff happening. And I think that these 2 episodes has really set it up for us. And no, it's not super action packed, but Trek never had to be super action packed to be good. That's what made Trek good. It was really well thought episodes, well constructed dialogues, and the plot was excellent. I'm all about action, but you don't need it all the time to be a good episode.
If this was a movie, like the first 2 episodes was a movie, you could tell you could have written it like that, because there's a very strong A plot and B plot. Being the A plot being the court case, the B plot, they steal the Enterprise. But I think they probably got to a point where there's too much in both those stories just to have them an A and B plot. They actually deserve their own episode. I actually think they've kind of now almost tied up some loose ends of season 1, and they can move forward.
Their own episode.
So, yeah, absolutely.
I also want to say that there's a good person. I'm assuming that's my stepmom. It says Facebook user, and they even question, why am I coming up as Facebook user? But I think it's my stepmom, Dory. I love you. Hi.
Should I put up her comments?
Yeah, could you put up? It's the internet nitpicking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
That's very
internet
true.
nitpicking.
Yeah. Oh well,
the
then
Enterprise.
yes, they may steal the Enterprise, but they'll never steal the ghetto.
Enterprise.
Yeah, it's the keep going down. It's
That's fantastic. Yeah.
it's the internet.
It's internet. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Internet nitpicking.
Yeah.
But that will always kind of be the case, I suppose, with Star Trek. But I also do you think perhaps it's we come off Picard very different tonally, style wise? It's a bit more darker, a bit more serious, and now we've moved into a show that's a much more brighter and lighter and adventure packed.
See, that's the wonderful thing about Star Trek, right? Every series, has its own unique style and
Flavor.
It has its own flavor, and I really enjoy that because it really makes one episode different from the other. Our captain has lost his mind. He was without oxygen for a while.
I was like, yeah,
he needs that mask. That
Oh
Pike
my
had.
god, that
The
mask!
mask.
was
Save
awesome.
Joe,
my-
we're gonna get you one of these,
Oh
buddy.
my
All right.
Who was that?
There you
I
go.
love the fact.
I'm
I
just
love the
using
fact that
arrow,
he
but that is a very
struggled.
handsome man. I gotta tell you,
Yes!
right?
Yeah.
Even
It's
with
the
the
hair. I gotta
mask
say to you, it's the hair.
It's everything, man. He's
The hair.
like,
No, he's everything. Yeah.
yeah.
I love the fact that even though he has a mask, he still can't manage to
Yeah.
breathe or to get like I thought he would like be walking with his mask, hey, and then
No, it was
the
running out of
oxygen is leaving because
Yeah.
he's losing oxygen in that machine, and then he'll start. But no, he was struggling throughout the whole.
The whole time, I love that
Yeah.
too because it was like
Yeah.
that's how toxic the atmosphere. Even with a mask, you can barely function.
I just have to put on one comment. It was
Okay.
not my step. It was her
Oh, Joe.
my man.
Oh, it's Ernesto, and I love you too. Yeah.
Oh,
We love
we
you.
love
It's
Ernesto.
Star Trek brings people together. Love
all
all
together, yeah.
around. Yeah.
Ernesto, it's so good to see you. Ernesto is the chief
Joe.
of the USS Growler. It's a fun crew out in New York. They living their best Star Trek life. It is so good to see you. And big shout out to all of you guys if you're watching.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And Ernesto will be joining us again in the Agony booth in the next
In a few weeks.
In a few weeks. Yeah. So we're super excited
That'll be
that
great.
he didn't go, what the hell did I just get into?
Oh no, he probably realised at 30 seconds in on the show it was like, I'm going to regret this later. I know it.
So a question to the group. Now that this is Una's back on the ship, it's the big trial has been put to bed. we're going to have a progression into a larger arc, I'm sure, of some sort. And we know Kirk is coming back. We know that they're doing some type of possible time travel.
Cool.
What do you think is the catalyst next? Is it going to be a spatial anomaly, a Gorn position? What is it?
Well, the Gorn is the overall thing, so I don't think we'll hear much about that until the end of the season.
Okay.
I think they'll just sprinkle in kind of bits and pieces with that. I can't imagine. But I reckon you're right, Joe. I think you've hit it. I reckon it's absolutely a time travel episode.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think it'll probably involve the team, you would think.
Well, definitely Kirk and La'an, so...
Well, we know that. We've seen that in the trailer, haven't we? So I tend to think, too, with these trailers, if you look at the trailers, they don't put bits from all the episodes. They tend to stack the trailers with the first few episodes.
Right.
So, you know, what fans are like, we're looking at every image and trying to pick it to pieces.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if I was a betting man, I'd say time travel next week. What do you guys reckon?
I think that definitely there's probably going to be someone broke the temporal prime directive, because that guy that she ran into in the hallway of the Enterprise had that look to him with the clothes of a temporal prime guy that's trying to fix something. Yeah, he gave me whole temporal prime guy Voyager kind of feel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who done broke the timeline? And it probably was Kirk, because he's, notorious for it. They've got him on record for about 17 times or something. And they have to fix it in order to fix the timeline, right? I don't know.
Starfleet just treat the timeline so poorly, don't they?
All right, so
they don't care anymore.
Is Starfleet worse than Back to the Future when it comes to temporal?
Okay, they're way more egregious. Back to the Future went to about 3 different timelines and then sorted it out. These guys screw with the timeline every other week, right? Yeah. Like the fact that they're not all looking like turtles or some weird alternate universe version of themselves, I don't know at this point, This
is a very interesting comment question. I think that Devin Passau, could it connect to the temporal Cold War from Enterprise?
That would be
interesting. It is a temporal war, so even though Star Trek Enterprise and what's happening now is very far apart in the future, from Enterprise, it's possible because, again, it's temporal.
Oh, that's a really cool idea if you think about it, though. Instead of doing a new temporal storyline, you're dealing with the effects from other temporal storylines.
Exactly.
Because there would be ripple effects, correct?
Right. Yeah.
I like that.
That'd be very cool, yeah.
Well done, Devin and Nita, for that one.
It would be nice to have our friends from the Shuttle Pod show hopping in there, too, because that would be cool to see those guys back on one more time. You see Living Trip.
Oh, yeah.
With a zombie trip at this point, then.
Well, they're all.
I'm not supposed to be dead.
It's temporal. It's
true. It's a temporal. Yeah, anything goes. Anything goes.
It's gonna be amazing.
Do you imagine that guy back in the '60s who was writing the script and goes, "Yeah, maybe time travel's a good idea." He must have realized it was like jackpot. I can write anything and get out of anything.
I have a question for you guys. This is a genuine question. Could this be the episode where we see Lower Deck characters?
No, it's not.
Oh, no. I reckon you're looking episode 7, 8.
You're right. I think this episode is too serious.
Yeah.
I think this next episode is serious. I think Lower Deck episode is going to be more comical, in my opinion.
Yeah. But, Nita, I would love that all to be connected. If we are going back in time next week, just reinforcing what you guys said, it would be great that the lower decks maybe have to come and clean up the mess.
Yeah.
Not those
you guys did this.
Do you know what I mean? Like they've just they don't always make the best choices on the Cerritos, do they? They go, okay, you two guys, we'll send the lower decks people to fix it all up.
No.
Yeah. That would be hilarious. That would be such a fun episode. I can't wait for that episode.
I think that's just the most anticipated.
That's probably going to be the most watched episode of the season, because Lower Decks has its own hardcore fandom.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what? And I'm in
And
that fandom. I'd like to know anyone out there who particularly doesn't like watching it.
Yeah, is there anybody that doesn't like Lower Decks?
Or hasn't watched it, perhaps, you know?
I love
because-
Lower Decks.
There's somebody
I love
that
it.
are really cool that was like, oh, I never watched it. You gotta watch it.
Well, I was one of those guys, remember, Joe?
I know.
It was you and Jace that
Yeah.
made me go and binge it.
Yeah, and then you were like, you guys are so right, Joe.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell have I been doing my life? You know?
Joe, man. That's why you're the captain, Joe. And I know, Jason. I know. Joe,
Yeah.
let
Then
me
you
tell
woke up, didn't you, Joe? And realized that doesn't happen in
That
reality.
is the conversation. It was
Yeah. That was the mirror universe version of me doing that.
That was exactly the conversation. I remember it clearly. You were like, oi, mate, you're right. It's a
Good on you, mate. Well done.
Yeah.
No,
Let's have a cold beer together.
In the Mirror universe, we have lots of sponsors and we're super famous.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't go out without a
don't
bodyguard.
subscribe to that version. Subscribe to
The
this
reality.
universe.
Back to life.
I can't go out without a bodyguard in that Mirror
Nice.
universe of ours.
No, a lot of people hate Lower Decks though. Whenever I do Lower Decks content, like I get a ton of hate.
Really?
Do you really?
Yeah.
What are some of the things they? Yeah.
They don't think it's real Trek. That's what I hear. Like this is just like some knockoff, like terrible Trek. Like this isn't even funny. This is so immature. And I'm like, that's the point. Like it's supposed to be a little immature. It's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be like offbeat. Like
I consider it a joyous celebration of Trek.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wonder if those
Absolutely.
people who don't think Lower Decks is Trek also don't think that Star Trek the Animated Series was canon and Trek.
And do they not watch Prodigy? Because everybody worships Janeway.
Exactly.
But then they go turn around and go, he's not real Janeway.
Exactly. Just because
Really?
it's animated, it doesn't mean that it's not part of the canon and that
Yeah.
they Lower Decks especially, I love Prodigy, but Lower Decks especially really follows Star Trek history. They mention a lot of things from the past. They follow Trek the kind
They
of
take
the
great
format.
care, don't they?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do. They do it and it's
Yeah.
very loving. Yeah.
They're fantastic.
Yeah. All right, Jason, is this time for our lovely games? Or?
No, it's time to take a break, guys.
Oh, it's break
I've
time.
been teaching summer school for about 10 years now. I specialize in Klingon language studies. Maj Bahasta, Dutch? Maj Bahasta, Dutch, Miss Roy. How much for these apples? I can be strict, but I just want them ready for the real world. In Klingon culture, it's important to exercise the body as well as the mind. Teaching Klingon's a lot of hard work, and you have to make many sacrifices. But at the end of the day, if I have changed one person's life for the better, that is a small price to pay. Hijama Jiako.
Oh my god, I love that.
That was a deep, deep cut, man.
Yeah,
Great
yeah.
fun.
What you can find in the corners of YouTube, I tell you.
Yeah. You know who I was thinking of when she said I teach Klingon Pop Warrior?
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
I was thinking right of her. So big shout out to her. I hope she's doing
Yeah,
well. I hope you
absolutely.
watch. Comment below if you're watching. Say what's up to us in Klingon. That'd be cool. Yeah. So we're gaming. time?
We're ready. Let's
All right.
let's do it. My favorite segment.
It's time for Name That Trekisode. The hell is
Oh, our audience has a huge deficit.
Oh, here we go. Look at that.
You're giving it away already. Woohoo!
Hold on.
Preview.
Can I announce who has whom?
Yeah.
Yeah,
one-
you can do that first. Absolutely.
Yes, Nadia, you have been paired with the ultimate, the fabulous Cosmic Mom.
Yay.
Yay.
Okay.
Joe has been paired with the fabulous Sarah.
Oh, sorry, Sarah.
And I have been paired with the awesome Devin.
All right.
Wow, there we go.
right.
So, what does that mean for anyone who hasn't seen this segment before? We are playing a game called Name That Trekisode, and the idea of it on the screen just next to me here is a pixelated image from an episode from Star Trek. Over 30 seconds, it's slowly going to reveal itself. Not relieve itself. That's gross.
Different show.
Yeah, different thing. And then if the guys start to, as soon as they are able to tell what episode it is, they're going to give me a good old Aussie oi, and then they're going to tell me what episode it's from. However, if no one knows the name of the episode, but they can give me a great synopsis of the episode, I'll accept that as well. So are we ready, guys, to play Name That Trekisode, everyone?
Yeah.
And
Time for
these guys are excited because Jason isn't here this week because
so
so
no
they haven't got a
one
chance to
today.
win. What do you think about that, Jace? That's all right, mate. Yep. You can see how disappointed he is not being here this week, can't you? Look at him. It's all right, Jace. Next week, Jace. All right, here we go. Name That Trekisode. 30 seconds to go. 27. I'm really going to get a good jingle here. No, Joe, that wasn't an invite for you. Concentrate.
Oi!
Oi!
Hey, Joe!
Yeah.
Joe has just dropped it. He thinks he knows what the title of the
Suffering
episode.
Cannot Reach?
Sorry, do you want to repeat that, Joe?
Is it Take Us to Where Suffering Cannot Reach?
I'm going to accept that, Joe. It isn't correct, but lift
lift
us
us
where
where
suffering
suffering
cannot
cannot
reach.
reach.
I'll
Oh.
accept that.
Wow,
well
somebody
done,
won.
Joe.
I won. What?
You won.
Congratulations
Is this the
to
mirror
Joe
universe?
and Sarah.
Though, as our accountant, you didn't win because you now have to issue the person a prize, which costs us money.
Yay. I should have just said something else and got it wrong, but then got it right.
Well done, Joe. That's fantastic. And I do believe that was your first win
Yeah.
on the board.
Yay. One
So, who's won a
One more.
prize?
for the good guy.
Sarah.
Sarah
Yeah.
won.
Yay, Sarah. Yeah, so is it
reach
the first
out
time
to-
Sarah's won anything?
No,
No.
not the first time.
Oh, we're going to just have to start clicking through the merchandise list as we go along with Sarah now, aren't we?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, fantastic.
Listen,
And that
I
was...
think names first come first gets put on the list. So if you
Yep.
want to be part of it, come on in early so that I can put you on the list.
Sounds right. That was another
Sarah,
episode
reach
of...
out to Captain Joe Dove.
That was an episode of Name That Trekisode. Okay, all right. Joe, let's move
Yeah.
forward.
Let's go forward to. Do we have a stupid Star Trek?
We don't have a stupid Star Trek question this
no.
week. We've taken a bit of a break.
I'm gonna sign off.
Do you have one? Do you have one, Joe? Stupid Star Trek question.
No, I don't.
There really is.
Oh,
there
wait.
really is.
Well, we
Yeah,
had
go
a
on.
good one from TikTok. There was a woman.
Yeah, you did send me a couple. Look, guys,
Yeah.
you sent me a couple, but I've been really busy and I rushed it
Yeah,
together
he's
and
been
I
doing
forgot.
his.
All right.
He's been living.
Yeah,
This,
I've been trying to make money so I could keep doing this. So.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that happens. We love.
But you know what the stupid Star Trek question really is of the week? I think Navia mentioned it. Is what the hell, Una? You
Yeah.
could have told him.
Yeah.
That made no sense.
What up, Paul?
Shalom.
Welcome, Paul.
Shalom. Oh man, good
Hello.
to see you, buddy. Thanks for stopping in. That is a personal friend of Captain Joe Dove. Yes, I have
Oh,
friends.
fantastic.
Wait,
What are you doing, Paul?
wait.
Yeah, Paul.
mean you
We
have
question your
friends?
judgment, mate.
You have
Yeah.
friends outside of this group?
Oh yeah, I have
Yeah.
big friends. Half of our audience are friends.
It kind of sounds like, you know, when you're at school and you had that one friend and he said he had a girlfriend, but they lived interstate.
Great friend. Paul's a
Getting that
great
kind of
Are you in
vibe.
Canada, Paul?
I'm not saying Paul. Paul is my
Great
dude.
friends. There you go. We only ribbon Paul. We love to have fun here. That's it. I don't have a stupid Star Trek question, but we'll definitely have one next week. It's a good reminder to everyone, though, to please send them in.
Yeah.
You know, can we try to avoid the subject of poo, though? We seem to
Yeah.
do a lot of questions about the human
People are
feces.
interested
Yes.
in space poop.
No.
Well, everybody
no.
poops.
Everybody
poops. All I want to know is do the Gorn poop? Because, you know, we're headed towards Gorn War.
Who's cleaning up the Gorn poop?
Ooh.
Sorry, that's the image I felt like playing a lot. It was that, or I was just going to keep putting up this image all episode. Nobody really needs to keep seeing
More is
Teddy
better.
hump
Teddy.
what looks like Australia, I think. If you actually look at the globe and the positioning,
Yeah, I think it is.
I don't want to look up at the sky right now and see what I'm seeing. Yeah.
You're seeing the best of Teddy.
And I'm sure you've seen that a bit too. So,
Unfortunately.
yes, having a dog has.
Yeah, how's that? He's like, run my belly. But yeah, there's things in the way. But
Yeah, look, I think we could end the show because it's
yeah,
getting
well,
bad
I
now.
appreciate everybody for stopping by, including my close friend Paul, who I'm gonna hopefully hang out with next week. We say we're gonna do lunch, but hopefully But now this has become an infomercial for me to have lunch with my buddy Paul. But yeah, I really appreciate everybody coming in. Nita, you look so serious. I hope something's not bothering you.
No.
Okay. Well, she's like, definitely. Like,
Before we go, though, is there any other last comments that anyone wanted to make?
subscribe.
Subscribe.
No, I mean
like.
the actual comments, like the people who have, for some reason, decided to spend their time with us.
Oh, look who it is.
Look who showed up.
What up, nerd?
Super Scuba!
Hey, Super
What's
Scuba
up?
Annie,
Did
what's
you
up,
try to
nerd?
scuba those guys, those rich guys, out of the Titanic?
Don't start
We'd made it
Annie.
15 minutes without talking about that bloody sub,
I did it.
and you threw it in there.
I was
So
for you,
close.
I was for you, buddy.
Don't start Annie up with the sub.
Annie, do you have any dissertation about that sub?
Please don't.
Comments right now.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we did it. We did it. All right. I really appreciate everybody watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Share it with your friends. Please enter your stupid Please enter your stupid Star Trek. Why is that a tongue twister? Your stupid Star Trek questions below in the comment section after the show. And, we'll put them in Jason's plate, and hopefully he will do something with
I
it.
randomly pick them. So
Yeah, he randomly
absolutely.
puts them in a little magic hat and written out, and then he goes, "Oh, this one's good."
I don't think that's what he
I really
does.
That's what he does. That's what he does. I'm pretty sure of it. That's an
Yeah.
Australian thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Just keep believing that, Joe. Just like that time you thought I said you were right about something.
No, that was also. These are all real things that happen. Mate, yeah, you were absolutely right about it. So that's what I remember. No,
What is he, a Beatles? That did not sound Australian.
Yeah, what is that? Even
It's
Jason's
just
disappointed in that one. Look at him. He's like, that's the worst Aussie accent I've ever heard.
So be sure to come by next week for more chaos and fun. And
make sure you check out our merch store. We got some
Yes.
stuff, guys.
That'll be playing in a minute.
yeah, let's play that. Roll that
And
beautiful.
we'll get
beat.
out of here. See you
bye.
later, guys.
Check out SpectrumSanctorum.net for all of our podcast merch. We have an entire merch store ready to give you all the things that you loved about our podcast. And get notified on all of our socials: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and our Spectrum Sanctorum merch store. Follow us today, and be sure to hit that bell when you're watching our YouTube videos so you can be notified of when a new episode